All right, Rob, but let's get to it. And the draft, look, it was, the Bryce Young goes number 1. No surprise there. C.J. Stroud, I guess a little slight surprise just because so many people, Rob, had been talking, they're all of a sudden, as you see sometimes, right? The S2 test comes out and, C.J. Stroud doesn't make quick decisions. So I guess if you believe that stuff, you might have been surprised that he went number 2. But and then Anthony Richardson, number 4, slight surprise. But again, we seemed like we knew he was going pretty high. But maybe the biggest surprise, Rob, was that a name we had been hearing about at quarterback. Some thought second, third best quarterback in the draft. Maybe some even liked him more than that. But Will Levis, out of Kentucky, played 4 years in the college. People love his build. He looks the part. Powerful cannon for an arm. Not yet drafted, Rob. Still on the board. Not only did he not go in the top 10, top 5, like some people said, he's not even a first rounder. And Rob, it was sad. And it always is. Whether it was way back when Aaron Rodgers slid or Geno Smith slid or, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson didn't really slide, but they weren't drafted where you thought they should have been, at least some people. It's hard when you got to watch a guy, and I know they all weren't there in person, but when you have to watch a guy sit there in the green room thinking this is going to be the best night of his life to date, and instead it becomes maybe the most embarrassing moment of his football life. And, they're men. You got to man up. Hopefully Will Levis will use this and keep receipts and go on to have a great NFL career somewhere. But it's tough to watch, Rob. His mom's squirming. He's squirming. I guess those were his sisters, his girlfriend squirming. Like, it gets awkward and uncomfortable even to watch. So you can imagine how he feels sitting there.
Well, that's the risk you take. It's not automatic. I guess he was invited, but those things happen. Aaron Rodgers slid down to 20-something to the Packers. He was supposed to be a little higher than that. So it worked out for him. But Will Levis, it doesn't sound like from the stuff that, people are saying, Chris, there's some quotes I have from anonymous offensive coordinators, quarterback coaches.
Well, let me read his quote first before you get to that, because I know where you're going to go. But quickly, he said this, and this is where, Rob, if you notice who was pubbing Will Levis, and you got quotes from NFL scouts, the people that were really so high on Will Levis were the Todd McShays and the Mel Kipers and the guys who do a good job in, promoting the draft and telling you about the picks and who might go here, who might go there. But they're not in the league. They're not the guys on the teams, right? And so those were the guys, if you really look at it, the biggest praise of Levis was coming from them.
Yeah, but
not coming from the league. And here's what he said. I brought that up because I think the league should probably talk to teams and not just listen to what they hear on TV when they invite to the green room. Because here's what Will Levis said, Rob. He told this 2 weeks ago to the Lexington Herald Leader. If I know I'll be a pretty high pick, I'll definitely go to the draft. I'm looking forward to going, but I don't want to go if I could be like a second round pick. Don't want to have the camera just on you all day. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but here's the issue that I have. You say, his agent obviously should have been in touch with NFL teams, so that's number one. But to say that you bought into the chatter, pre-draft chatter by talking heads on television, that's silly.
That who bought into it?
That the agent. Because if you haven't talked to any teams, Chris, There's no way you bring your client there to sit there. I just can't believe that Todd McShay.
I hope he talked to teams.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like I
he
can't buy
not
that.
Talk to teams.
And here's the other thing.
I'm talking about the league though. Like when the league are the ones that invite you to the green room.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's fine. They can invite you to the green room because his name was out there. But if you're the agent, I need to talk to a couple teams for myself to say there's a legitimate chance that my guy's going to get drafted, and he's not going to sit there and be embarrassed. The other thing is, here's the issue when you have guys, Chris, and I don't know the whole thing, but agents use reporters to push up the stock of their guys.
Oh, gosh, yes.
You know this, Chris, as a guy who breaks news. And these guys will feed you. Oh my God!
You really got to double check.
You can't just take agents. And Chris, a lot of these guys, and I'm just being honest, are in bed with the agents. Hey, you put my guy out there. Talk right. Give me some.
Because.
Am I right or wrong?
You're absolutely right. Because Rob, when you see so and so broke a story about a player signing for a certain amount of money, a player getting traded. It's in most cases,
99%.
It is the agents. All right. And you know how you know? I mean, we knew you and I are in the business, so we knew.
Right.
But how you as an outsider can know? Look at Lamar Jackson. There was nothing coming out about Lamar Jackson.
Zero.
Nothing.
Because there was nothing there to be leaked.
Because he had no agent.
Exactly. And his agent couldn't take care of his buddies who helped those guys, Chris. And they make a lot of money because they're all in bed together. It's it's a lot of it is.
Well, we've seen many incidents lately where it shows that objectivity gets lost.
It gets lost.
Objective reporting gets lost.
And that's what I'm saying here. That's what this was, Chris, to me. Is that if there's no NFL teams, and then when I read the quotes.
And Kiper and McShay now are not reporters.
Right.
Right? So there's that, but they
have connections.
There's some, but they more, I mean, as much as reporters, certainly. And I remember in the early days in NBA when guys like this were starting to emerge, they're definitely getting a ton of information from the agents. And as you know, Robin, you said, the agents are pumping their guys.
They are doing that.
The Commanders loved him.
Exactly.
You should have seen their Jason Campbell's face, or they loved him. Not Jason.
And then because then you put that out there, right? Oh wow, look, hey, this guy's going. But let me give you a couple quotes, Chris. Anonymous, AFC offensive coordinator. Quote: "Something's not there with him. Something's missing. Not to say that he won't be a good quarterback. I wanted to like him more than I did. He's had the measurables, can throw a mile, but he lacks touch and feel and ball placement." Here's another one, Chris. Anonymous NFC offensive coordinator. Quote: "Eerily familiar Blaine Gabbert vibes." Gabbert, I'm sorry, vibes. "He's a big, strong, pretty dude that makes you excited, but the game doesn't make as much sense to him as other guys." And then the last one, an anonymous NFC quarterbacks coach, he said, quote, "The longer I looked at the tape, the less I liked it. He's the only one of the top guys that I didn't see take over a game." End quote. There you go. So maybe if Todd McShay and Mel Kiper did some other homework or checking with some people, Chris, I'm not just saying, because this shouldn't happen. If you really have done your due diligence, and then sometimes, somebody's there, but you got to make sure, because that doesn't sound like the NFL was interested in that cat in the first round. That's from anybody.
And now, did these quotes come out after yesterday or last night, I guess, as he was
after
falling like a stone? They came out before. Okay. Well, Rob, you and I talked about it. I mean, and we didn't scour the tape. We just, let's keep it real. We weren't scouring Will Levis tape. But you know what? I saw him play here and there. You know what we did look at? And this doesn't take a great researcher to do. We looked at the numbers. And we talked about it the other day. I said he had 19 touchdowns and 10 picks at Kentucky.
Thank you.
I mean, and I get it. He's playing against better competition in the SEC, and he doesn't have, you know, the talent around him that a lot of the teams he's faced had, but still, that's a red flag. Like the scout said, Rob, at that level, generally you take over. Now, it's not a rule. Trey Lance played at, you know, didn't even play at the highest level. We'll see what he becomes. You know, Carson Wentz, and I know he became a bust, but, you know, he had his moment in the sun. You know, we've seen, Rob, Tony Romo. Where is he from? Was it Eastern Kentucky? We've seen guys come from, even Josh Allen, Wyoming. So it's not like everybody lit up college or played at the biggest programs, but you can't discount the fact that a guy wasn't head and shoulders above his peers in college, because a lot of these guys were, if they're going to be great at the next level.